see what Dio was like. Would you do it then?
Yeah, maybe. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe that would be my reason for going, as introducing somebody to Dio. But I got to be honest, it's still, you know what? Is it any of this on YouTube? I think it has to be.
Oh, I'm sure it is, yeah.
I want to watch that, like, the second we're done recording. As a matter
of fact, yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to see it for myself. Because like I said, I can only say that, like, when I saw the Michael Jackson hologram, and he's dancing, and there's dancers next to him that are dancing also, but of course they're not getting in the way, so it all looks like it's one thing. It's incredible. Like, it's absolutely incredible how it's done. I'm sure you probably thought when discussing this with me I would have a definitive answer. I really don't. I don't know. I think, again, if it's an introduction to Dio and you never got a chance to see him when he was alive, he is a metal legend. And if you have the opportunity to see that and see who he was in concert, and it's as good as the hologram stuff I've seen before, sure, go for it. For me, I got to see him live before he was sick. He was amazingly good. And I'm good with that. I can leave that alone. I don't know if I need to see that again. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely. Now, speaking of people that were sick and, we've talked about this a little bit on the show, but I think even more off the show, is that I feel as though Asia is one of the bands that paved the way for what we know today as progressive metal. And without Asia and bands like them, Kansas, Styx, there would be no progressive metal at all. I mean, those were the bands that paved it. And now Asia has a brand new CD coming out, I believe later this month, if I'm not mistaken, or in March. I mean, it's coming due fairly soon. But just 8 days ago, as we record this on January 31st, John Wetton, the legendary singer for Asia, passed away.
I saw that.
And I don't know what to say about that other than they have a brand new CD coming out. They planned on going on tour, and then he passes away in his sleep. And, as an Asia fan, that hurts. But, he was in his 60s. It's not like it was a huge surprise, but it still nonetheless is one of those things that you just think you didn't see coming. So I don't know if you had anything to add to that, but it's a sad moment in progressive rock history for sure.
No, it's funny you say it because Asia's one of those bands that, in my early metal days, I would make fun of. Like heat of the moment, yeah, that's heavy as hell, But as I've gotten older and, of course, become more of a progressive metal fan, you get to hear, songs like, Heat of the Moment and Only Time Will Tell, and just a lot. I mean, I'm telling you right now, their self-titled, debut, come out, 82, 83? I mean, I have that album, like I have it on vinyl and listen to it often. And I kind of lost track of them as a band. And then I started getting into Asia, I would say 2012, 2013. And then I remember going, oh, holy shit, they have a new album out, and it was Triple X that came out in 2012. And it's really good. And it's just like, these guys are still good 30 years later, still making really killer stuff. But yeah, to your point, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing. But yet it's great too to see so many bands who are in their 50s and 60s, even 70s, that are making music until they just aren't here anymore, and to still see them having success and still doing what they love. When the album's done, to my knowledge, so I mean, this is something that you're going to be able to hear, post-mortem, as far as what they made as their last album together. I really doubt they'll do anything now after that. Maybe I could be totally incorrect, but I wouldn't see them continuing after this.
I couldn't either.
Yeah, but with a new album coming out, it's something we would definitely review on the show, because I would love to hear it. That really sucks. But unfortunately, when some of your heroes and some of your favorite bands get to be in their later stages of life, I mean, that's unfortunately a fact of it, which really sucks.
It does, but nonetheless, we'll continue to push on, listen on, and support them as long as I don't know if they plan on still continuing their tour or not. Maybe with replacement singers, we've seen that with other bands to at least finish that up. But nonetheless, just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention that if you are a younger fan or a fan that never got an opportunity to check out Asia, this is your last opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you can't listen to the Dream Theaters of the world or the Fates Warnings of the world without hearing that. I mean, it's definitely prevalent. It's definitely there. Same thing with Yes. I'm not trying to change the subject, but that's one of those bands that's similar to Asia to me, which is one of those bands I really didn't get. Like, I don't understand. I make Owner of a Lonely Heart. Like, what a crappy little 80s stupid ass song. And now I go back and I listen to not only that, but a lot of the stuff they did in the 70s, and it's amazing. And it's like
Genesis.
Yeah, well, dude, early Genesis, are you kidding me? And I know he gets a lot of crap, but even very early Phil Collins, again, my fanboyism with Phil Collins anyway, both progressive and pop. I don't care. Phil Collins rules. You can say what you want. You can get mad.
Oh, he does.
And be butthurt over the Genesis, turning pop because of Phil Collins, whatever, get over it. I'm just saying that Phil was great, and the early '80s, Turn It On Again and Abacab and all that stuff that Genesis did, and then going back to songs like Roundabout from Yes. I mean, that was early '70s, and you could hear so much just time changes and just things that were so different at that point in time. Jimi Hendrix gets the credit of being way ahead of his time musically, and I absolutely agree. You can hear Yes in the early '70s. Being way ahead of their time, and bands like Asia in the early 80s doing the same thing that have really, to your point, kind of paved the way for a future sound of progressive rock, progressive metal. And it sucks that what happened. But if you're a prog metal fan and you've never gotten into Asia for some stupid reason, new album coming out is a definitely good way to check them out. But go back and listen to their old stuff too, because it's incredible. It really is.
Well, that's all I got from the news desk.
Now, Biv, I'm going to tell you right now, let me stop you. I'm disappointed. Yeah. You promised the According to Metalheads that are out there, and you even promised some guy 33, if I'm not mistaken, who left a review for us on iTunes, which you should do too, by the way, that you were going to keep us updated on the latest Nickelback news. And yet you do a news segment, and I gave you the benefit of the doubt. As you know, if you listen to the show, we don't talk about any of these things prior to. I figured Biv at least is going to talk about that because he's a man of his word and he makes a promise. And lo and behold, Bivens decides to drop the ball and not give us new information in regards to Nickelback's new single that was released off of their new album, their new single, Feed the Machine. So I guess let me do the heavy lifting for us, Biv, because our fans want to know the latest in Nickelback, and you frickin' failed. Congratulations.
Oh, hell yes, they do. I mean, who doesn't?
But serious note, have you listened to the song?
No.
I have. It's actually not bad.
Not bad or good?
It's bordering on good-ish.
Uh-oh.
But the thing is, they're screwed either way. Because no metalhead, if you know the history of Nickelback, they were a heavy band a long time ago. And the reason why so many people who like metal hate Nickelback is because they sold out, dude. And that's true. They absolutely did. But it'll be curious to see, once again, when this new album comes out, how many liars are around the world, especially here in America, who will tell you that they hate them and they'll have the number one album. Mark my words. But it's actually relatively heavy. I mean, for Nickelback, it's pretty heavy, actually. It's not. I'm curious your honest, objective thoughts on it. And the only reason why I heard it being real is I was listening to Spotify, and this makes me really question the person who does the new metal tracks in Spotify, playlists that you can subscribe to. And so I'm subscribed to new metal tracks every Friday. There's new tracks that show up, and so I'll just press play and listen to stuff. And I've listened to a bunch of bands I've never heard before because of that, or bands that are having a new album coming out and going, "Oh no, shit! I didn't know they had a new album coming out." And it was the second track, and I'm like, shut up. Why is this even on here? But
so are you saying you listen to Nickelback by, quote, accident?
I absolutely did. have my back here, those listening to the show. If you are a subscriber to Spotify going to new metal tracks, it's one of the first options you can pick if you browse metal, quote unquote, in Spotify, and it's the second track that's there. I did not seek it. It was right in front of me.
Okay, that right there tells me that list has no credibility whatsoever.
But they normally do. That's what I don't understand. I'm telling you, do it. We're gonna stop recording the news. I want you to go there and go, oh shit, he's right, because it's there.
No,
I didn't seek it. It's right in front of you.
Okay, all right. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We don't believe you.
God. But we'll give you... whatever. Piss off. That's the news.
Whatever.
Jackass.
Hi there, this is Lacy Mucklow from Lady Obscure Music Magazine. You're listening to Jason and Biv on According to Metal podcast.
Joining us on According to Metal, special guest, my friend, Biv's friend, your friend, whether you want to admit it or not, editor-in-chief of LadyObscure.com, Lacy Mucklow's joining us on the program. She was at 70,000 Tons of Metal, really cool event, probably sunburned, probably just beat tired. Has tons of pictures she wants to upload that we haven't got a chance to see yet, so we're waiting, Lacy, just saying. But Lacy, thank you so much for joining us on According to Metal.
You're welcome. Glad to be here again.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and you get to go to all the cool events. You're the Where's Waldo of Metal, and got to see a really cool thing. Left Fort Lauderdale, went out in the Atlantic Ocean, listened to metal for 4 days, came on back. A lot of really cool bands. I mean, some big names that are out there. Anthrax, Arch Enemy, Devil Driver, Overkill, Testament. And later on in the program, actually, we're going to be joined by Tim Brown from Stryker, who was on there as well. And we're actually doing a review from Nightmare of their album Dead Sun. So a lot of really cool bands that were out out to see, if you will. But overall, is this the first time you've gone? And what were your thoughts on the event? What did you think of it?
Yeah, this is my first time to go. I'd heard about it before, so I was aware. But this year, finally decided to take the plunge, so to speak, and try it out. The lineup looked pretty good, and I thought I'd give it a shot. So I went, and it was a pretty good festival overall. I mean, it had a wide variety of bands, so, no matter what kind of metal you liked, you could probably find somebody that suited your taste. And there's a lot of bands. There were 60 or 61 bands on board. So it gave you a chance maybe to check out bands you had never heard of or never gotten to hear live that you could just check in on. So it was a great opportunity for anyone who wanted to just have a lot of metal at their disposal and just check it all out. And all the band members would be roaming around the boat, too, when they weren't playing. So you had opportunities to run into all kinds of people as well. So it was a pretty cool experience.
Now, Lacy, one of the albums we're going to be talking about on this episode, obviously, is Nightmare. And so Nightmare has a CD that just came out recently. Did you get an opportunity to check them out? And if you did, how much of that new material did they play?
Yeah, Nightmare I did not catch, I hate to say. Although I heard about people who did catch their set, and I don't know about the proportion of new music that they had, but I heard it was a great show. So I can't say a whole lot about it personally, but I heard it was a great set.
Now, one band that was there that I noticed that was part of the lineup and is also a band that you essentially made your triple B at one point or another on the show, which is Ghost Ship Octavius, who was there. Did you get a chance to check out their set, and how did it differ from what they did at Prog Power?
Yeah, I caught them again. A lot of the sets got repeated, so sometimes they might play at 3 a.m. one night, and then the next day or two, you might see them at a more reasonable time, like 5 p.m.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. So, you can see them as long as you're willing to stay up. But I did catch one of their shows, and they sounded really good. They, since they just have the one album out, they did about a 45-minute set, so they sang a lot of the great tunes from their album, and they seem to be. It's kind of funny because they were there, and again, just like at Prog Power, they filled in for. There were 2 bands that had to cancel because of health reasons and visa issues and stuff, and so Ghost Ship filled in for one of those bands.
Are you serious? So they were one of the.
I'm serious.
Hey, so what you guys got going on in the next couple of weeks or so?
Yeah,
because we actually need you to get